Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thought I'd do a review on this new Mercedes A160 Sport, the A-Class. There's various different models of these. Just thought I would do a brief, just kind of review and my opinions of these things. So this is like the Executive, it's the A160 Sport Executive, which is the 1.6 petrol turbo. Executive, it must mean because it's got the leather seats in and stuff. So I'm not particularly going to be too positive about these cars. I'm not a big fan of them. One thing I will say, which I'm slightly positive of it's got twin exhaust pipes, and they're actually real exhaust pipes. So thumbs up to that. At least they've getting that bit right. But anyways, a lot of the bulbs at the back are LED. The side lights, number plate lights, those actually look okay in white, I will admit. I mean, there's a few things I want to bring up with these. Is this A160 petrol, I'm not 100% sure of the origins of the engine, if it's Mercedes or Renault or whatever. I'm not going to comment. I think it is a genuine Mercedes engine in these, because I have just serviced this today and it doesn't look French like Renault. But what I will say, if you get the what are they called? I think the A180 or the A160 diesel one, it's a Renault engine you get. It's the 1.5 K9K Renault engine, same as you would get in a Clio, same as what all the Nissans use. So just beware, if you're buying the badge for a Mercedes, you may be sadly deeply disappointed when you open the bonnet and find a clattering K9K Renault engine. The same as what's in the car I've already reviewed here, what we've got. Not a bad engine, but when you buy a Mercedes, you expect to get Mercedes. So, a few little facts and figures. Like I said, it's the A160 Sport Turbo. It's the 1.6 turbocharged, and it's got what you call a GDF. Basically, it's like a DPF, what's on a diesel. This has got the equivalent of a DPF for a petrol. It's basically a particle filter called a GDF. And I'll go to some issues with those when I open the bonnet. Only got 101 brake horsepower. I have just driven this car to get tyres on it, and it's got a little bit of a kick to the turbo, but I don't think I'll be very impressed with it if I'd spent the money that these things cost. £130 tax, and it's the Euro 6, so it's Euro 6 compliant, and this is a 2017 model. Very disappointing at the front on this. I mean, I think they are the side lights of the car, but I can't get the daylight running lights to come on, because as soon as I started up, the automatic lights kick the headlights in. But they've just got old-fashioned filament type candle yellowy coloured bulbs on the front, which look rather naff. If you zoom into that, it just looks awful. Ordinary headlights, nothing fancy, ordinary indicators. I know some of these have like the spotted grills, which look they did look okay, but they're even beginning to age a little bit now. Nice big bold Mercedes badge the size of your hand on the front, just to let everybody know you've got a Mercedes. But like I've mentioned, if you have the diesel one, you don't. You have mainly Renault parts on them. Really, apart from the fire breathing, what are these? It's the AMG version of these. I think they're the A45s or something like that. They're a pretty cool car, I must admit. But these basic A-classes, like they're just like an Astra size. For the money extra that they cost over, like say, like an Astra or a Honda Civic or a Ford Focus, I think you'd be much better off having the other cars, because in my opinion, I don't think you're getting the quality for what you pay for, unless you go into the top end stuff. Like I said, like I think they do the A35, the A45, then they do become real classy and valuable. Where these, I don't know, I'm just not keen of middle spec, sort of bottom spec premium brand cars, because a premium brand car should be a premium spec. But anyways, that's just my opinion. Like I've said, it's been in for 4 tyres. It hasn't got many miles on. Can't blame the car for that. The tyres just perished through lack of use. It's got parking sensors at the front here, as well as at the back, and some kind of reversing camera, where when you engage, there's the parking sensors at the back. And when you engage reverse, you hear something. I think this must be a camera here. I'll tell you what, we'll go and put it in reverse and just find out. So I'm curious to find out about that, because you definitely hear something. See, the camera must just pop down. Where is it? There we go. See, the camera comes down out that little flap. I do like that, because it keeps all the dirt off the camera lens, so when you do come to reverse, you can actually see where you're going. Definite plus point of that. I'm not going to pull the car to bits. There's definitely some good stuff on it. It's not bad. It's just, I don't personally think worth what you pay for them, basically. We'll have a quick look under the bonnet first, and then I'll go around a few bits on the interior. Just bonnet catchers are really difficult to get on these as well. So you've got to get your fingers right down into there before you can actually lift it up. Again, premium brand car, no bonnet stay. You would expect that. And again, no sound deadening. Just not good in my opinion. Anyways, pretty much run-of-the-mill engine. Like I say, if you open this on a diesel one, you've got a Renault engine in them. This, I honestly don't know. I must say it does look Mercedes. Definitely, I don't think it's got anything Citroen, Peugeot, Renault, anything like that in it. But don't quote us. But there's some absolutely stupid things on this. Like I've said, it's got the GDF on it. Basically a DPF particle filter. These can get that hot in the event of a crash. The new air conditioning gas that they use in new cars, the R1234 gas, is highly flammable, and this exhaust can get very hot. So if you have a front impact in one of these, they've got an actual fire. This is a fire extinguisher. This unit here, there's a pipe comes out of it on there, that pipe, and it runs down and it goes straight into the exhaust system. So if you have a crash, there's actually a built-in fire extinguisher which goes into the exhaust system. So that obviously needs serviced at regular occasions. If you have a bump and it pumps all that rubbish, whatever's in that, into your exhaust, which will go into your turbo and the GDF and everything. So for a little smack in the front, you could end up having quite a considerable bill. Just all totally overcomplicated. Again, it's been in for service, not a bad car to work on at all. Air filter there, oil filters down the side of the engine. Relatively okay. I'm not going to slate it in that sense. It's actually been quite a pleasure to work on. So there's your details on the engine. Big plastic block. I can't even tell you. I think it's time chain driven. I can't see no timing case, so that's a plus point. Whether or not they make the timing chains out of good quality and the guides out of good quality information, then who knows if the last will start rattling. And there's a little reference to the gas what I've just been on about, hence they've put the little flammable symbol. So there's your, it used to be R134A, and now it's 1234 YF, and it's highly flammable. So this new environmentally friendly air conditioning gas, it's great for the environment supposedly, but it just, if you have a crash, you're going to burst into flames. Okay, there's logic for you. So that's pretty much it under the bonnet, is what it is. We'll shut that and we'll go and have a quick look around. Excuse pointing the camera at the sky. Quick look around the interior. Again, you've got the mirrors, LED indicators, quite nice. But I must admit, you might see more when I get into this car. It's got a very, very low roof line, and when you're sat in, I'll go more into depth with this. But just remember this big black box here, that'll come into play shortly when we get inside the car, and I'll show you something. Mirrors, nice and big, good. Must admit they're good for manoeuvring, and the reversing camera, like I mentioned, that is good. These chrome areas here, this car's got very few miles and that's already starting to tarnish. Can't see that lasting long. Let's just pop my head into here. Oh, I've got the ignition on. I have to get that. Honestly, it's way less than 20,000 miles that this car's got on. Lighting up Mercedes Benz on here, like that. That's a nice bit of class. There's bits and bobs lying around this car, but you got your leather seats, plenty of space, but that's right back. But we'll soon find out. You know, Mercedes do some nice quality kind of stuff on the door cards and that. I'm not going to pull that apart. And that's nice kind of touch aluminium. They can do a nice interior. Into here again, electric rear windows, no tinted windows though. Ventilation to the back, that's quite nice to see on what I would class as a small family car. But yes, even 12 volt power output. Thumbs up to that. Give them the thumbs up. These, like I say, these back seats are like brand new. Leather seats. And you've got your Mercedes parking sensors. I'll come into them when I like kind of get into the car, I'll explain how they work. But that's nice here, even in the back. The brushed stainless steel. Then I'm going to the boot. Oh, there we go. Potatoes and water. What more could you need? You know, they got a split folding rear seats. I thought that would have been LED, but it isn't. Storage at the side, another 12 volt output there. Nice to see. Not a very big opening of the boot at all. If you look at that, that's poor. You know, like, you ain't going to get much in there. In fact, that's really bad. Now I'm looking at how far those lights come to the interior. So you've just got a tiny little beam. Crikey, you're missing, I would say, a good, half of the car. I mean, put both of them together, you've lost half of the width of your car. So down, all this wasted space, not very good. Deep enough boot and everything, usable, and plenty of storage. But for a family car where you've got to be fitting prams and shopping in and stuff, it's got a crikey, how many bottles? There's plenty of bottles of water and potatoes in there, but it could have been designed a lot better than that. I quite like this on the Mercedes, where you get the light on the boot for the cars coming towards you, the red light, but yet it's white, pointing down to give you a bit of illumination when you're getting your shopping out. I do like that. I've already mentioned about them exhausts. Pleased to see that they're real, not fake. All your parking sensors, same as what we've just seen, but obviously you can see that's the driver's seat set at a normal position. Plenty of leg room. And we'll jump into the driver's side. Again, obviously all illuminated Mercedes Benz. We'll jump in. I'll just show you these seats before I actually sit down. They've got the bits that pull out on them. And they've also got the it's like kind of like a dark grey leather stitching. But one thing I will say, the seats are very, very firm. They're not very comfortable. They look okay, but they're not comfortable. And this leather, maybe leatherette, it's okay quality. But again, like everything else nowadays, it'll probably be, vegan leather, some rubbish like that. So anyways, now we're into the car. I'm just going to put the window up to get rid of a bit of noise. Right, so I'll turn this ignition off. There. 13,000 mile. It's practically a brand new car, this. As I've showed you a few of the little imperfections and stuff. Shouldn't really be expecting that at this mileage. So, onto the dashboard. I've started the dashboard. I like the dashboard. Nice big clear indication for the speed. Thumbs up for that. I'm not going to pull that apart. And I do like some of this, again, brushed aluminium all over. And this has got like the black, matte and polished checkered dashboard trim, but I have seen some of these where they've got some really nice brushed aluminium, and they do look cracking. They do look nice, I will say. I'm not going to slate that with these 3 vents in the middle, but there's some cheap things I do not like in this car. This screen here, well, I'll go to the point when I mentioned about that black box before, right? I'm sat here at a normal position, okay? I can see straight ahead. When I want to look left, forget that being there. That can be removed, right? But we've only got that much space. That is blocking out all the room. If you've got somebody standing at a zebra crossing here, between this thing sticking up, I know it's below the line of the dashboard, and this mirror and the roof line of this car is the windows are tiny. You're sitting here at this height there. You are this is obviously blinding, but all you can see is the floor. You can't even see to the top of that hedge. It's really does block out so much visibility, this big mirror and this thing sticking up. And I suppose if you're short and you're sitting further down in the seat, that blocks a lot of room, and it does actually hinder you quite a bit. And there's some fancy buttons hidden up there, SOS, alarm sensors and tow sensors and God knows what. This up here, there's a light in the back, but this up here, it's a little bit disappointing. I thought that was going to be a big light, but all you get are these little LED things, like map reading lights. You don't get a great deal of illumination. You get a bit from underneath the mirror on those lights there. Funny, my Mercedes ML have them, the W176, but it's not very. It's not the best. It's okay, I suppose. No floor lamps or nothing like that. And again, I'm just going to go on while I'm on my negatives here. I've driven these in the automatics, and they're quite nice. But this manual gearbox is very clunky and jerky. It's just this car, but it shouldn't be the mileage it's on. And the 100 brake horsepower kind of sums it up. It is a turbo. If you put your foot down, eventually it gives you a bit of a kick. But at low RPM, it's just got no torque at all. It's not very good at all. Once you get your foot planted to the floor, it will take off. But pulling away from a junction at low revs until it gets itself wound up, You ain't going nowhere. And this manual gearbox, not a big fan. Like, to get it into reverse, you've got to like lift it up. So you're pulling something out the floor and then bringing it back. It's better. I prefer like a push down or a little tag under here or something here to pull something up. I mean, it's quite difficult to pull up actually. Like, so if you're like, like older or like. It's not a good feel to get into reverse. Not keen of that at all. Climate control system buried like right down here, so when you're driving you're having to mess on down here, and it's the usual rubbish where you like, is it off there, on? Don't even know. It's like, just to get it to switch on here, you're having to, is it because I've got the ignition on right there, so it's tiny. When you're sitting up here, it's very difficult to see, and it does come up on there, but you would think this would be touchscreen, but it isn't. So you've got to mess on with this thing. You'd think on a car this new it would have touchscreen. So anyways, down here you've got dual zone climate control, which it's relatively easy to use, but it's a fact you have to like bend right down, stoop your back just to like look at what you're doing on it. Aircon. You've got your, like I say, functional or dual zone, auto, all that kind of stuff. Then obviously the off button. Right, so on to here, it's a bit like an iDrive system on the BMWs, but it's, I don't like this thing at all. It's awful. It just looks so old-fashioned. This car's really new, like, what did I say, it was 2017 car, Feels more like a 10-year-old car, this thing. And when you look at like the mapping and stuff, it's very bland and not very vibrant at all. I mean, we'll go on to radio. Hopefully, like, look at that. Like, just no colour to nothing. I mean, there might be options you can go in and change the options and stuff, but very dull and boring to use. Let's just find, where do you get the menu up here? Right there. Vehicle. So you can go to the vehicle settings, and even when you go into the vehicle settings, there's not much you can do. You can change a couple of things with the lighting, and that's it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just not into these kind of systems, but I find that they're very dull and kind of featureless to use. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of these big screens being planted right up here, anyways. But yeah. There's all sorts of functions on it. It'll be like DAB, digital radio, I would have margin. I would think. That says FM. I'm not quite sure how you're going. I'm not going to start mucking on with that. But anyways, one other thing I do like about this car is the stop-start, I've noticed. Obviously you can see it's off down there, and the green light comes on. It's one of the few cars that I know, when you turn the stop-start off, once you function the ignition cycle a few times on and off and take the key out and come back in, it stays off all the time. I like that idea because most cars, as soon as you turn the stop-start off, once you turn the key off, the engine off, put the key back in again, it default goes back to being switched on. So I do like that idea. This has got heated seats, 3-stage heated seats. Really nice. Just wish the seats were a bit more comfortable. They're just too firm. This isn't a sport, this is an executive, so it should be comfortable and smooth rather than sporty. So the seats are very firm. Like I said, you've got, this is like your parking sensors on and off, and again with Mercedes, I do like their parking sensor idea because you put it into reverse there, brings up your camera, gives you all your different angles and stuff like that you can go onto on there and change it, and when you turn the steering, it moves. But what I do like at the back with Mercedes, that little black box there in the back, that obviously there's nothing behind us, that lights up when you get near something, but you don't have to turn around to look at it because it's right there in your back mirror, so you know if something's to your left, to your right, because it lights up to the left and the right. This has been around for 20 years on Mercedes and they've not got rid of it. I like to see that they're keeping like retro things going in their cars, and obviously your front parking sensors, that comes up around here as well. There's the one for the front. So if I just start it up there, you can see how they light up. So there's the one for the back. See how the two little orange lights come on it, then off, and the front one there will just pull up to this wall. If you see how it's lighting up, see there, see 1 dot, 2 dot, and letting you know obviously that you're getting closer to something on your right hand side. I do like that on the Mercedes. It's been around for a lot of years. Good idea, well worth keeping something that works. While I'm on with something here, this is my last fault I'm going to bring up with this car. Obviously the window, the visibility is absolutely terrible. I mean, the back window is nothing more than a slit. The back windows, like I've said, the window lines are so, the roof line is so low and the doors come up so high, and you've got very little visibility. I feel like I'm crammed in. I mean, like my head is touching the roof, and this seat is actually as far down as it goes. So if you're 6 foot, you're going to have a hell of a job getting comfortable in these cars. But my biggest pet hate of all on this car is this handbrake. You can't even see it unless you're flipping this stupid little button under here with no indication. I mean, they've got a light on it, but when you're sat in the car with the door shut, you've got to flip and crawl down on the floor to get to it. Why is it not here or something? Why is it not even on a stalk? Or just have a normal handbrake, or have like a button like where it's visible, like here or here? Why is it right? It's where you would have a bonnet pull. You'd feel like, I swear to God, when you're operating this, it feels like you're opening and closing the bonnet, pulling your bonnet. But the worst part of it is, there's no when a normal car, with an electronic handbrake, you put it on, so you actually have to push it in to put it on. I would think you would pull it out to put it on, push it in to let it go, but it's the opposite way around. So you've got your notification on there to tell you you've got your parking brake on. So when you come, there might be settings in here to change this, but most cars are automatic handbrakes. When you pull away, it takes it off for you. This doesn't. So every time you come to a hill or put away with a handbrake on, you've obviously, with it being a manual, you've got one hand putting it in gear, another hand on the wheel, whilst holding the wheel, fumbling about down here, which means your head is like into the window and you're looking on the floor, faffing about with the button to get it to release to then actually pull away. Now, there may actually be a separate thing to override this, but that is the worst electronic handbrake I've ever come across in any car ever, and there's some pretty poor ones out there, so definitely sort that out, Mercedes. That is horrendous. And it has got the automatic hold function, but it seems to just only work when it wants to work. So, nah, definitely do not like that. Oh, and that's the other thing as well. So, we'll turn the handbrake off, right? Turn the key off, get out the car. It wouldn't even put it on as default, and you could quite easily forget. See what I mean, though, in the daylight? See, it doesn't pull out, you've got to push it in to switch it on. So it doesn't even come on as default when the key's out. Nah, bad idea that. Don't like it. Anyways, on to the rest of the review of the car. All of the nice stuff, 4 electric windows, electric mirrors, no folding mirrors though. There's your door lock in there. Again, 13,000 mile and it's starting to go, in places. But it is a nice quality interior, I will say. The usual rubbish on these, where you just can't just have the lights as off. They've got to be on auto, and I mean, the lights have been on all day of the day. It's been a bit of a dull day, but there's like in the side light position, auto, headlight, some random setting that's nothing, which isn't off though. Then you can put it into your parking lights. So I don't know what that one is there, because if it was off, it would have a symbol for off. So there's like a hidden function there. So your parking lights, a random setting, side lights, auto, and headlights. It'd be nice if that was just off, but it isn't. Headlight leveling, it must have, so it's just got manual headlights, no front fog lights, just rear fog light there. Down to here, we'll start at the usual there. It probably will have nice lights up here because it's the exclusive model. Yeah, again, like the reading lights, the ones under the mirrors, lights in the back, a little sunglasses holder with a knife in. Okay. Again, got the same on this side. Then you've got your general Mercedes kind of cruise control. I must admit, I am a fan of these. I like them. Got your limiter there, so the orange light comes on, and you just simply move it. Very good system, these. Hard click up, 5 mile an hour intervals. Hard click down, the same. Gentle click up, 1 mile an hour. Hard click, it'll take it to 30, 35. Gentle click, 34, 33. Brilliant, it's one of the best cruise control and limiter systems about. Then obviously you've got your standard cruise control where you can set it obviously when you're driving. Very good, like that. Then you've got your normal Mercedes kind of thing where you've got like only one stalk, no stalks at the right hand side, just 2 at the left. And this does everything. This does your wipers. Obviously it'll have automatic wipers, automatic lights, rear wiper, indicator, main beam and all the rest of it. But like I say, just your standard halogen, nothing special. Wouldn't have harmed, I don't suppose, to have at least LED running lights. You get that on a city car, bottom of the range Citroen C1, so why you don't get LED running lights on a executive Mercedes? Weird. So yeah, that's all good stuff there. Radio, this area here to me just looks old-fashioned, like really old-fashioned. Hence, I've mentioned about this. I don't know. I'm just maybe not in touch with more modern Mercedes, but nah, I'm not keen of all that. Just looks very old-fashioned with the old telephone keypad and an old-fashioned phone button when it's already on here anyway. It doesn't really need to be there. Just clutter, mess. But like I say, you've got all your stuff there for your phone. Siri probably, I think may have Apple CarPlay, maybe. 12 volt output there. I like a little ambient lighting there, some storage here. I don't know, I'm not going to go rooting through, but it must have a USB somewhere. It will have. So yeah, it's, I see, there we go again. Not even an automatic dipped in mirror. It's one of my little pet hates there. Why has it not got that? It's got all the automatic lights and sensors and stuff in here. Why has it not got an automatic? See, this is just stuff you should be getting in a Mercedes. You're paying the money for a premium package. And they're cutting corners. It's not very good. So yeah, that's that. The dashboard, that's all digital. You can go through all your settings, like your sat nav. I do like this screen here with the speed and everything. And I do like the dash. I'm not gonna take that away from them. I don't know what. It's got this thing here, okay, and then you can scroll through there, like your mileages and range, all this malarkey. Personally, it's just best having your big speedo there. And down here, you've got your dynamic system. So that's what the C stands for: comfort, sport, individual. So it comes up on there where you can adapt your. I would assume must just mean all. Oh, there you see adapt, so you can turn your. So since it's in comfort, which is that one, it says, see there, it says stop start on, but it's off. So that's good. I do like how that stays off. But anyways, you've got all your different settings. I'll just put it back to the one that was left on, which was comfort. So there you go. That's gone to sport. So yeah, these things, to be quite honest, a lot of these settings on these cars, you can press them and change them, but unless you drive them hard, I think you sometimes take a lot of deciphering the difference in them if it's not your thing. Again, down here, just basic rubber pedals. I would have thought you would have getting some kind of funky chrome pedals on these since they've got all the chrome package on it. But, like all this that lights up down there. Oh, is that got a light? Yeah, it's got the light on underneath there. So, yeah. So, as I've mentioned, if you like these kind of videos, let us know in a link below. I don't say I know everything about these. I don't live with one of these every day. I'm only trying to give my best and honest opinion before you go out and spend, I don't know what one of these are, about sort of, 20,000? This will be worth 20 grand, it's got to be. And worth a lot more than that when it was brand spanking new. So, yeah, there's a review on a Mercedes A160. Mercedes A-Class. I might have missed a few things out, but there you go. I'm trying to just do these because if you're going to go out and buy one, this is the kind of information you need to know. And it's nice to see somebody give an honest review. I'm not being sponsored by Mercedes. A lot of people who get these cars, who do what I do, Mercedes have lent them it for the day and says, make sure you do a good review, blah, blah. Mine are totally independent. you know, these are just cars I have into work on, and I have short drives of them, doing various test drives and things like that, obviously with the customer's permission, and I just give an honest review. You know, I wouldn't say this is a bad car, but for the money you pay for them, I do believe there's better. And I'll leave it at that. So, if you like it, leave a comment below. Remember, a lot of my people who are watching, if you do regularly watch my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny, just helps my figures. You know, if you like the video, what you see, hit the like button, leave a comment. It all helps on the YouTube analysis to help my channel grow. So, I'll catch you in another video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.